So this is the Bionicle Inspiration series. It's the show where we spotlight the mocks of the community to give you ideas and to inspire you. And today I want to talk about Titans. The bigger, the better. So if you want to build a big boy, I got you covered. Let's get you some inspiration. We're going to jump into the first mock, and this is a huge one. This is by Andrew Steele, and it's called Kratok Corrupted. Dude, this is massive. It might be the tallest mock that I've ever featured on this show. I say that, but there might be another one at the end of this episode that's even bigger. Stay tuned for that. Now, to put this in perspective, you see this little CCBS armor shell here down the very bottom? It's the same size as this armor shell on Furno 3.0. So with that in mind, if I roughly scale this image so that these pieces are kinda the same size, yeah, you can see how big this dude really is. And I'm not even sure I scaled that image correctly. I just kinda did it roughly by eye. I tried to do some rough maths to add up the different sizes of the pieces that I could see to try and calculate how big this was, and by my calculations, yeah, closer to 5 feet tall. Insanity. Oi, the horror aesthetic of this mock is phenomenal. The spiky and bony looking fingers, the really skeletal limbs, this ribcage and the fur, the skull with a face full of teeth, the antlers, the hollow and empty black eyes. Mate, every square inch of this is layered with the most grotesque and frightening designs. It's awesome. The size just adds even more to this nightmarish figure. I love the fact that it's on an ice base, and there's a few icicles and different frost and things hanging on the body. Couple that with the fur that's around its neck, I get the sense that, yeah, this would probably live in colder climates, which again makes it just as scary. It makes me think of, in the middle of a blizzard, you're hiking through the forest, it's cold, it's late at night, and then this thing comes running at you. Look, it's spooky season, so if you want to make something that's scary, take notes from this build, and build it big. This is an unnamed creation, and it was built by Ocean Brick Bionicle. I suppose it's a bit more on the smaller side of things, well, certainly compared to the last mock, but it's still big. I would say it still counts as a Titan-sized creation. And really, there's no limits or size requirements for something to be a Titan. Titan just meant larger Bionicle set, really. And that term just carries over to larger mocks too, so, Anyway, lordy lord, I love this color scheme. Using a lot of beautiful glow-in-the-dark pieces. Oh, I love seeing people playing with these types of colors. Glow-in-the-dark mocks always look so frickin' sick. And you barely see any mocks with this many pieces that glow in the dark. Oftentimes if people use it, it's a nice little accent somewhere, which still looks good. But making it a primary color on the mock is good. So what are some of these types of glow-in-the-dark pieces that we're seeing here? Well, there appears to be a heap of these glow-in-the-dark Borok eyes. I especially love the line of them along the legs at the top here. Kind of like he's wearing some type of striped pants. Also, there's some nice ones on the chest and around the shoulders. Using some of these Fenrak or Cardus Dragon headpieces in silver, it makes it look like the shoulders are the skulls of dead dragons that he's wearing as trophies. And these glow-in-the-dark eye pieces kind of look a bit like the teeth of the beast that he's wearing on his shoulders. Maybe that's some further decoration from things he's hunted down in the past. These pieces in these colors, they actually come in a few different sets that aren't Bionicle. They were Technic Racer sets like the ones you're seeing here. I think it came in 5 sets, I think. But yeah, obviously you can see it being used as headlights on this set. Another clever part use is using some of these blade pieces that came on this Agori. The middle bit of this weapon did actually glow in the dark. And the way it's been integrated into this leg design, making a bit more of a boxy look with some spikes at the top. This is very nice. This is a genius move right here. Yeah, this is a sensational color scheme and a sensational mock. Diagon Mox has built a Bionicle for us that's called Murder Machine. Yo, I love this chest design. Using 2 of Brutaka's masks to create this puffed up and burly chest. It's a good look. I love that the torso and all of the limbs, they're massive, they're muscular, they're swole designs. And his face is teeny tiny. It's funny, I like that. And it's also nice to see this Krana piece being used as a face. Everyone likes to use, custom masks, official masks, or just build a nice custom head design. Nothing wrong with that, but everyone forgets about the beauty of these beautiful Krana. I love seeing them used in action on custom creations. And also, not that he needs it, but he does have a big old blaster. Big dude with a big weapon? Heck yeah. Now to a creation that combines Tren Crom from Bionicle and a character from Bloodborne, we have Tren Cromyegdia by Alex C. Parsons. Mate, this is also the stuff of nightmares. The limbs that look like they're just purely exposed muscle. And you got tons of claws and spikes all over the body, all over the hands and the feet, and a creepy, all-encompassing mouth with heaps of teeth and eyes. Ew! But hey, it looks cool. I love how tall this mock is able to get when, really, all it's doing is using larger CCBS limb pieces. And that's basically it. I love stuff like this, because the design isn't that complicated. In fact, it's fairly simple. Just a bunch of prefab limb pieces with a few other minor armor parts on them. But look, when you got a good idea, and you make some good execution with a nice color scheme, you'll end up with something awesome. It doesn't matter if there's not any majorly complex techniques. It just has to look cool, and this certainly looks cool. This mock is a great reminder that you don't need heaps of pieces to build yourself a tall and imposing mock. Just repeating similar parts and playing with longer elements. That's going to get you something good. And this is the perfect example of exactly that. My friend Mitch Builds has a mock that's called Fire Dracax. My favorite part about this bad boy is the leg design. Using some of these Nitroblast headpieces as thigh armor? Ooh, that's good. The shape of this piece really does capture human anatomy very nicely. It's perfect for thighs. Oh, and actually we can also see Tahu Nuva's mask at the top of the torso. And then down at the bottom of this staff, we have Pahatu G2's boomerang piece, or at least part of it, capping off the end of the weapon. This is great. But going back to this leg design, the odd curved look of these lower legs, this kind of thin design that uses some of those tail element pieces in red, that's a really nice way to make this dude just that little bit taller. Lanky designs, limbs that naturally use larger or longer pieces. That's a great way to build up body parts. See, you can use pieces like Nitroblast's head, Rakshi spine pieces on the side of the upper legs, or those system tail pieces I was just talking about, all of which are naturally larger pieces. So maybe you're sitting there and you're like, I want to build a Titan, but where do I start? Well, go out into your collection and pick out some larger pieces that share the colors that you want to use. And maybe you can use them to kind of map out the limbs or whatever body part you want to start with. And the larger size of those parts will help dictate the larger size of your mock. Start off small. Pick out the funky pieces, pick out the larger parts you want to play with, and you'll be well on your way to making something cool. Just like Mitch did. And if you need further inspiration, go and check out Mitch's videos. They're some of the best Bionicle videos out there. And finally, we have a huge Evangelion mock, built by Buffoon. Dude, this is another massive creation. This might even be taller than the one we started with. I mean, look at this photo here. It's as tall as this TV up on that table. In fact, actually, I think it's even taller. But look, comparing this mock to the source material, dang, they did an amazing job. They captured those thinner limbs and the curvature of the body really well. Even the way that the chin kind of juts out on the face, that has been replicated really nicely with the use of a Rakshi headpiece, the same one that we see on this set right here. Also, in this photo here, we get a bit of a peek into how this is built. We can see the internal structure is using some of these light bluish grey Technic lift arm pieces that are kind of in the shape of a H. Or not really, that's not exactly what a H looks like. You know what I mean. Two H's put together, I guess. These pieces, they come in a bunch of different Technic sets, and they're often used as internal structure. So yeah, I guess that's what the inside of this mock looks like. A bunch of these Technic beams and other kind of lattice designs that help shape the body and help to lock the armor in place as well. I mean, look, if you've built any of these larger big Technic sets like this one, you'll probably actually learn a fair bit about how to build internal structures as well as really like sturdy bases of support. Maybe it's worth buying one of these sets to give yourself a bit of a crash course into internal designs that you can use on your own Bionicle creations. Oh yeah, and the bulk of the armor seems to be using some of these Technic panel elements like this one in white. You get a bunch of them and other similar pieces in this Technic supercar. Sets like this are a great parts pack if you want to build a big old mock like the one you're seeing here. Go and pick one up. I mean, heck, Technic sets are super helpful for construction stuff. After all, Bionicle used to be labeled as a Technic sub-theme. The parts are very, very similar. And you can actually buy them on shelves in any LEGO store, unlike Bionicle these days, sadly. But hey, that's a bunch of cool looking Titan builds on this episode of the Bionicle Inspiration series. If you enjoyed some of the mocks that you saw in today's episode, be sure to take a look at the links in the description below. You can see more from those builders right there. Also in the description below and on your screen right now is the submission email. If you'd like to submit your mocks to be featured on the show, submit them through that email address. But that's all for today, guys. Love you tons, happy building, go build yourself some Titans. Bye for now.